What's going on? It's Justeeni here. This is part 2 of my Zebasi Championship tournament run. Part 1 had some really long, grindy games with just a single round being played in that part because I'm trying to make these like 30 minutes. But yeah, round 2, and I'm going against Ducks, who I believe also got an upset for the tournament because, yes, I have a really low seed, so my win in round 1 was actually considered an upset. But I believe the opponent also managed to do it. And now I have host advantage in this round, and I've got a really good spawn, lighthouse spawn. And let's kind of see how things go. Really good density. I go for warrior spam. That's how I like to play these lighthouse spawns. Get that lighthouse. And it's pretty good, all things considered. I can get a pretty fast giant. Workshop it up. And I'm going to spam quite a lot of riders because I have 8-star per turn already. Tons of riders. I get roads pre-cap. Reason why I buy the tech pre-cap instead of upgrading is because I want to get the explorer next turn and just train a rider this turn, so roads pre-cap makes sense. I know that they're in the north. You can see that Zebasi skin kind of working in my favor. It also helps them see my terrain, so it goes both ways. I meet them, get 7 stars. Get the lighthouse as well, which is really good because if I get just one more lighthouse, that's it. I just get a giant. Or if I just connect, I'm really, really close to a giant. And I'm also going to fight for this ruin. I've got a lot of units, and I see that they're playing awfully greedy. And I'm going to take advantage of that. They go for the lighthouse. They're upgrading. They're really passive. I get a trade ruin. That could be useful later, but right now it's useless. I do have some spots for markets, but I need to get construction for that. It is something I will get, but right now, in the short term, I have a lot of initiative, and unfortunately though, the critical piece of information I was missing now shows itself. So, as great as this pressure was, it quickly comes to a halt. But that's fine, because it's not like I'm pressuring out of desperation. I was more so doing it to try to convert the advantage that I already have. And while this makes things a little more rough, I am still winning here. I can explore. I'm hoping it uncovers that lighthouse. Just barely doesn't, but they don't have very much going on here, so I'm gonna be able to probably get the lighthouse anyway. Maybe I can even just take the city. I can take the ruin for sure. I can siege here for some attention here. I get my giant, get my Park of Fortune. Make some more units. I'm stealing the ruin. They unsiege with the vet sword. They have a warrior in the fog. There was like a play where I rider block instead of taking the ruin, which I was thinking about for a really long time. It would have been super expensive to unsiege, but I decided against it at the last moment, and it turned out to be the right call. But they only have 4 cities to my 5, and I have a giant. They are still a good ways away from their first giant, and their development is pretty slow here. I have one really bad city, but I've got phenomenal vision, just a ton of map control, so they resign already with our shortest game so far. And I'll go ahead and cut to the next match. Yeah, and I think this is a good time also to mention, these are best 2 out of 3 sets, and this is a double elimination tournament. So if anyone loses, they get sent to loser's bracket, and if they lose in the loser's bracket, then they lose and they're out of the tournament forever. So I'm still on the winner's side, but oh my, this spawn sucks. This spawn really sucks. I'm gonna try to manage, but I have 2 poorly spaced villages and they are knocking on my door already. I can get a nice cheeky kill, some free value, but there's a rider. I get the explorer because I desperately need vision here. I also desperately need eco, but going for eco here is just insanely greedy. There's one more village here, also surprisingly far away, because I can't have nice things. I get a star ruin at least, that is one nice thing. I go for the pop growth to get the quick giant. I could go for the border growth, but it's a really, really slow giant, so I don't think it's worth it. I need speed. I have a need for speed. But they're connecting with roads. That's a horrible sign. They will probably be on 6 cities. They'll get their Grand Bazaar, get more giants than me, win the game. I go for this border growth as an attempt to get something going. It's going to be a very defensive border growth. But how things play out, I have to get another explorer. And I can just see, like, look at this situation. This is really, really rough. They're going to be able to connect, no problem. I'm trying to mount some pressure here. But, yeah, they're getting the level 4. They're going to defend. They get more giants. We just kind of skip along. They've got so many units. They're even taking this from me. I go for strategy. You probably know where this is headed. I've got one more try here before I resign. They go for this kill, which is just pointless. Yeah, that was a really bad warrior kill, but it doesn't matter. I get the cloak. I see that I am absolutely done in super units, and they are pressuring my capital. And is there even anything I can do about that? Well, I have to send my giant here, get some fortifications. And, well, they can't really stop the cloak. That is reaching them, but it's not going to do enough. It's just too big of a disadvantage. Oh, and my capital is sieged. So, yeah, GG's. So now it's 1-1. Next game is do or die. Well, not do or die. I just get sent to loser's bracket. It's not the end of the world, but I'd prefer to not get sent there. So I'll go ahead and cut to the next match. All right, so with this next one, things are looking a lot better. I've got host advantage, and okay, I find my village at least. You know, that's not too bad. There's a village here as well. There's enough space, and the resource indicators say it must be here. There it is. Okay, so we're looking good. I meet them. They're doing really bad on expansion because they only gave me 3 stars. Their score's really low. They didn't capture on turn 3. So I get org pre-cap. I'm spamming a lot of units, really just trying to play it really safe. This is how you play it safe, guys. Make units. Seriously, don't play greedy here. Do not play greedy here. Make units. And again, making units, not upgrading anything, because I just want to consolidate this position. This is really solid. If I can just work with this, I can definitely outplay the opponent and win. And then they siege me. And this really sucks because this vet sword's really just painful to deal with. So I managed to bounce to this city at least, but now I need more units, but I need more eco first, and this is kind of rough now. I get this lighthouse so I can get more eco and more units because this has a really fast ROI. I capture here. I've got a lot of cities though, so, you know, things could be worse. But then things get worse. Now they're taking 2 cities with a single vet sword. They managed to steal 2 cities from me. That is absolutely ridiculous. My phenomenal start with only 1 small gap here in terms of density, I could have had 7 villages. But no, I have only 5. There's a village here, but it's going to be awfully hard to contest. I don't have the units, and I'm pretty vulnerable from all angles because of their village placement. And I can see, based on their capital spot, they have room for a village on one of these 2 squares, which means if they take this, they're on a 6v5, and a 6v5 is especially bad because that means they get an extra monument and I don't. But I get a crazy giant here. If you're wondering why I didn't buy roads or anything earlier, that is why. I can at least fight back. I have ruins. They got 1 ruin already. There's 4 more on the map. I see 3 of them. I get a star ruin, that's really good. And I'm hoping to get some presence here to just fight for this village, because if they get it, it's really, really bad for me. I get another workshop. I can develop. I don't train a warrior here. Very intentional. If I do, they siege with a vet sword, distracts my giant, really sucks. I don't want that. They kick me off the village. Kind of annoying. They do their thing, get a giant. If they actually played this better, they would have roted and killed this rider, which means they stay on this village. But they misplayed it. Lucky for me. Again, this is a live game moment. I get a vet sword. Oh my goodness. And I go for this. So I don't kick them off because, well, my vet sword's gonna kick them off. I wants to deal with this warrior that's right next to me and help my rider escape that just got a kill. So that's what I do. Unfortunately, the rider can't escape anyway, so this was just a bad judgment on my part. But again, I'm hoping, well, I just siege with the vet sword. They can't unsiege, especially with the giant pressure also. But then... Oh, I just gave them the city that they needed to win. Well, I can start to pressure up here, and when they giant push, I can hit with my giant first. I'm killing the red sword as well, so they can't use that to weaken my giant. Getting some more units. They cannot Houdini unless they're very confident that I don't have climbing. And even then, they still need quite a few more units. And I can still siege here, just to pressure. It would be smart for me to not even give the chance to Houdini. But the opponent doesn't have any ideas. They need to unsiege this as well, which actually requires the attention of all the riders. Then they push, and very importantly, they send this giant up here, so I can't really re-siege, which I was really hoping to do, and they also kill that rider. And another giant. Whoa, what the heck? I am down 2 giants, and a city, and a monument, and... But I can get giants of my own. You know, and I do have a ruin back here. Like, I'm getting 3 ruins versus their 2, you know, that totally makes up for things, you know. Like, their ruin gave them 2 cities. And my ruins give the opponent a city because they misjudge. So, it all evens out, I think. But I step on this last ruin just hoping and praying. Give me a construction ruin. I really, really need a construction ruin. There is a giant knocking on my door and I get free spirit. What am I supposed to do with free spirit? Are you kidding me? Oh, you can get knights, Justeeni. What am I supposed to do with knights? Is this how I get sent to loser's bracket? I try to pressure, but it's just looking even worse. I do have the unsiege, of course. I mean, obviously I have a plan for everything. So I can pressure, I get the construction. No surprises there. I was saving up for it, and now Gate of Power, which I was holding the whole time. So we hold on, and also, kind of a similar theme to last video, pressuring these high-level cities and just denying the income. They already have Gate of Power. I'm not feeding them kills. I am feeding them beta signs, but it's worth denying income for that. Now they just injure my giant like crazy. They can barely kill it. If they hit with the other units first and then the giant, it wouldn't have killed. So that's why they hit with the giant first. It's actually very smart to hit with the giant first. Then they sack some units, so then they can send this giant if my giant hits, and now it actually deals the same amount of damage, so... Actually, no, it only deals 13, so yeah, their play works, and it makes sense. They're showing some pretty good technique here, which is not good for me. I go for this siege as kind of one last hurrah, but if they can unsiege, then I'm kind of screwed. I get hunting, another giant, so then, you know, I'm expecting an unsiege. I can just throw another giant at them. They hit. They hit. They hit. They siege. They don't unsiege. What? What? They don't unsiege. This is huge. And some of you guys may be saying, what? How is this huge? It's a level 2 city, and you're about to lose the city here. Why is this huge? It's huge because now I get Grand Bazaar. Well, I can't unsiege them with Grand Bazaar. How's that going to help? No. I get Grand Bazaar. I'm no longer down a monument. So even if they take the city back, it's not a big deal. And now they decide to not even take the city, actually. They're going to try and take my giant out, which is a really interesting play here. I'm not sure if I fully agree with it, because I can unsiege this now. I think their concern was if they capture, then I re-siege. So it's a bit of a complicated situation. And I can get some more kills. But now, we can see that Grand Bazaar immediately coming into use. Now, I'm saying I'm holding on to the city advantage. I don't care if I'm down 2 super units, and they're all right next to the city. I am staying 6 on 5, and I am going to win this. I'm training warriors so I can sacrifice them into the giants. And I'm going to fight tooth and nail if I have to, just to hang on. They're pressuring. They're connecting. And now I get chivalry. You know, I got that free spirit from that ruin oh so long ago, and now I can finally get some knights, which honestly they're not actually that good here, but they're better than nothing. So I figure why not? There's not really any other useful tech I can get. But now this giant dies, and now I'm down so many giants. They siege with the rider. Makes sense if they siege. With the giant, I just unsiege. And now, again, pressure. Now I can take out a giant. Okay, now I'm only down 2 super units. And again, I'm still up that city. And I'm going to be able to grind my way once again towards a win. I get some more knights. And I'm going to start to just pick up a big unit advantage. And that's just going to hopefully decide things. Things are looking amazing here. They get a knight, but that knight isn't too helpful for them, actually. It's not just because it's the opponent and I have to view everything the opponent does as a mistake, but like this knight actually just doesn't do anything. Like seriously, watch. Watch. Are you watching? Are you just like playing this video in the background doing nothing? Watch. Come on. Alright, so now I can take out this giant. I don't take it out this turn, but it's effectively dead. And yeah, they unsiege and everything. And okay, they killed 2 warriors with the knight. Congrats. Get sieged again. I send these knights in with the intention of killing the giant and sieging, of course. And I'm repositioning this knight, ready to pressure this city all the way back here. It doesn't look like that's the point of this, but yes, that is the point of it. Now I get forestry, chop, set up another giant. And now I'm the one with the super unit advantage. They get a fancy schmancy chain. They get some more knights. But seriously, what do their knights do? They got like 2 little chains and their entire army is gone, all their giants and everything. And I manage to win 2-1 on to round 3. I'll go ahead and cut to that. Alright, so yeah, we're covering 2 sets in this video, I know. Crazy stuff, but I swear we have time. Look at this insane spawn, by the way. Isn't this insane? There's not too much to go over with this game because my second city is also really good, and I'm able to just... my density is perfect. Everything is amazing. I'm sending this rider forward. I want to send a rider back eventually to get this lighthouse, but I see the ruin up here, so I'm going to play very solid, not doing anything greedy and silly. My rider does die, but it's fine. I get the ruin. I can get the explorer, see what's up. Get a warrior, get the lighthouse as well. And yeah, they're doing a good job trying to fight efficiently with these riders, pick off any units that they can. And I just make some units. I make a warrior here in case of any potential sieges. But this vet sword is going to be awesome for completely slowing down their expansion in the south. And this is really good because they're just locked on 3 cities, and I have the rest of the map. So maybe you guys can kind of see where this is going. Yeah, they get the city after a lot of work, and that means I just get the rest of the map for free. I'm able to get my giant first. I get a pop ruin, because why not? Once I get roads and all that, I'm just doing resource ruin. I get construction. I get another giant. Yeah, who needs roads? Climbing to get the ruin. Still no need for roads. And I'm just gonna be up one city, but my economy is way, way higher. Now they have archers, but am I really supposed to be scared of archers? I have riders, and I am gonna be able to pivot into roads. I'm gonna get Eye of God really easily here. I mean, if we look at how things progress, I get a disgusting border growth. And there's not really any attack here. There's a giant, but another giant, another pop ruin. Now I've got even more giants. And yeah, I've got roads finally. I'd siege the capital, siege the city. It can be unsieged because they've got forestry. Pretty unconventional way to play Zebasi. I'm also starting to pressure over here. I got a border growth to just steal even more land. So I'm up one city, but it feels like I'm up two because I'm just stealing so much here. Things continue on for a bit. Not too much happens. Pressure here looks kind of scary, but just watch how I defend this. These giants aren't anything to be too afraid of. Like, 4 giants is quite a lot, but I have a lot of units. So let's use those units by just throwing them all into the giant. And I'm not really afraid of any sieges. In the event that I do get sieged, I can just Justeeni if I really want to. I'm even training a warrior enticing the siege. Go ahead and siege. And if I can't Justeeni, or even pop the giant, I've got 3 giants near here. If they kill this one, it's still 2. They don't kill the giant very smartly. And they're trying to zone of control with these giants to protect the archers, which are really the most important thing here. And I can just chip away at everything, advance my giants some more, sacrifice all my units here. And again, I'm just going to keep pumping out super units. They're pretty expendable here. And you might think, oh, I'm going to get like knights or something, right? No, I'm just going to get more super units. I have riders to kill the archers. Like, I don't need an answer to the archers. I just need to kill the giants, which I just need time, because every turn I'm making a unit from all of my cities, and 10 units can kill a giant. With the help of my own giant, it becomes 5 or 6 if the giant is injured. But yeah, more chipping, more defense. Once the giants run out, then we see defenders. And when you see defenders, you know that there's going to be cloaks. Now, cloaks are actually very, very threatening here. But how do you deal with cloaks? I mean, first off, they're not even here yet. But how do you deal with cloaks? That's right. Unit spam. That's been the solution to every problem so far. And that's why I'm kind of skipping through this, and why this game's kind of not actually very close, is because I'm just doing the same thing. You know, it goes in the square hole. It doesn't matter what they do. Spam units win. Veteran archer, I don't care, spam units. Oh no, my giant died, spam units. More defenders, spam units. Spam units, I love units. We have so many units. I'm up 3 super units after losing quite a few this game. But now I'm really digging into these archers. And I'm throwing my giants up, forcing the archers back, getting another giant. More pew-pews. And we finally see a cloak. But this cloak is actually a dead cloak. or very close to 1. It's gonna be dead because there's no way it's connecting. And I'm pressuring really hard here. Now we see the resignation. So I pick up my first win against this against Superficial Intelligence, by the way. Also pretty solid player. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and cut to the next match. Alright, so this time around, I've got a pretty good spawn. I see the opponent's terrain, so I kind of know where they are. I decided to expand aggressively. Oh no. Oh no! Oh, are you kidding me? Well, I'm gonna try and pressure here to stop any future expansion. Maybe I can snag this village. I force the unsiege so then the riders can't go anywhere else and expand. But then very smartly, they send their riders here. This looks ridiculous, but then you kind of realize, wait a second, where's my units? I'm on 1 city. And on turn 5, I lose. Okay, so alright, that was a really bad spawn, really unlucky, so let's go ahead and cut to the next match. Alright, so once again, tied game. All these sets have been tied games so far into the 3rd match. I'm not hosting, and I'm kind of cut off from the center, but I do have a lot of farms, so it could be worse. We're gonna work with this. There's gonna be a village here. Where are my villages? Where are my villages? How am I supposed to play the game? This is the Drylands experience, guys. I did not vote for this, by the way. I'm just gonna say I didn't vote for this. The people who did vote for this, you guys know who you are. And I just resign here because my units are scattered. I'm not keeping this city, and I'm not even keeping this. I'm gonna be playing on 1 village this game. So, our fastest set yet, with 2 hilariously short games, thanks to the Drylands experience. But I'm not out of the tournament yet. I'm being sent to losers bracket, and you'll see if I can fight my way through that, or if I get swept away. But hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.